Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. So today we're going to be doing Bhagavad Gita. I don't know what's going on. I think the computer seems to be slow. We're going to be doing Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 17. And it's a very, I think this is one of those verses where the impersonalists and the personalists, the dualist and the non-dualist, the Dvaita and the Advaita interpreted very differently. And so this is going to be very interesting. So let's see how it goes. So I'm reading from the Gita Daily website as well as Swami Mukundanand, which I realize right now is also personalist or Dvaita. So I haven't gotten the impersonalist perspective except from what Chaitanya Charan Prabhu wrote on his website, Gita Daily website, in which he talked about it. So I would love to dive deep into it. This is this is quite a project, huh? So I am going to do some overall studies by Swami Sarvapriyananda and the Ram Das. I got the videos of Ram Das recently. So over the next few days, weeks maybe, I'm going to go over that information and that content and see how that works. So right now, the perspective that I'm going to be sharing will be whatever the impersonalist perspective will be, whatever Chaitanya Charan Prabhu has written on his website, but mostly it'll be the personalist perspective. So I will sing the verse. I will not play it in the background here, but I'll sing it and go through it. So um, but it's very power. It's starting to get very, very, very real. It's really dived in. It's like earlier the way the way I'm thinking of it is earlier I was on the side of the ocean, well maybe like half a mile away from the ocean. I couldn't see the ocean of knowledge, and it was just desert, and there was no water anywhere at all. In the first chapter, it was just basically setting the context, and there was no knowledge. There was no ocean of knowledge there, and I was just like, yeah, I was like, okay, we have not yet reached. And then suddenly, instead of stepping into the ocean like one by one, step by step, we're just straight in the middle of the ocean, and we're diving right into the middle of the ocean of knowledge. And there's like, there's like zero and one, it's really, really, really dove in very deep instantly. That's the feeling that I'm getting. Okay, so the verse 17 is Avinashi tu tadvidhi yena sarvam idam tatam vinasham avyayasyasya na kaschit kartumarhati. So Avinashi, Avinashi tu tadvidhi. Avinash is something that cannot that doesn't have nash. Nash is destruction. So something that cannot be destroyed. He's translating it as imperishable. I'm using the Hindi word nash to say Avinash. Something that cannot be destroyed, something that's imperishable, tu tadvidhi, but that you know it. So, but that is imperishable. Yena sarvamidam tatam. Yena, by whom? Sarvam. Now this is the moment, this is the word that is interpreted very differently by the Advaita people, by the dualist, by the personalist versus the impersonalist or Advaita or non-dualist. Sarvam, it means all. Sarv is all. Sarve, sarvam, it means all. Now all what? So the impersonalists say all of, he says here, impersonalists say to refer all of existence. So, Ramanujanand, where is Ramanujanand? Yeah, Ramanujanand. Because Mayavadis interpret Sarvam as all of creation, so Ramanujacharya gives another explanation saying we have to look Sarvam from the context of what comes after it. So, so basically, he's saying Sarvam, all of existence, and Srila Prabhupada and the dualists say Sarvam is all of the body, all of this, our body. So, by whom all of this body, idam tatam, pervaded. So, all of this body is pervaded. So, that which we know as imperishable, that which is imperishable, is pervades our entire body. That that pervades this entire, by whom this all of this body is pervaded. Vinasham, so that which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. That is the translation. Vinasham avyayasya. Vinasham, destruction. Vinash. Avinash is undestructible. Vinash is destruction. Avyayasya, of the imperishable. Asya, of it. So, destruction of the imperishable. Vinasham avyayasya, destruction of the imperishable. Nakarshit kartum arhati. Nakarshit, no one, kartum, can do, is arhati, is able. No one can do that which is destruction of the imperishable. No one can do. Right? So he's saying that which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. So, in Swami Mukundanand's translation, that which pervades the entire body, know it to be indestructible. No one can cause the destruction of the imperishable soul. So, it sounds, in this translation, it sounds very straightforward and simple. It's a continuation to what he said last time. In the previous verse, he said the soul is indestructible, it's all never going to change. The body is destructible, and it is always going to change. Right? Here he's saying the same thing, that which pervades the entire body. Now he's saying that the soul pervades the entire body. If we translate sarvam to be body, all of the body, then that which pervades the entire body, know that to be indestructible, which is, and nobody can cause the destruction of the imperishable soul, of the indestructible soul. So he goes into further details as well about both Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Charan Prabhu go into the details of about like the different types of okay, so they talk about the fact that the soul has, it's very, very tiny, but it's a particle. It is a very tiny, measurable, very tiny, very, very tiny, measurable particle that resides in our body. So it's not just this consciousness, it is actually a particle that describes. So the measurement of the atomic spiritual soul is described in Mukunda Upanishad 3.19. The soul is atomic in size and can be perceived by perfect intelligence. This atomic soul is floating in the 5 kinds of air: prana, apana, vyana, samana, and udana, and situated within the heart and spreads its influence all over the body of the embodied living entities. When the soul is purified from the contamination of the 5 kinds of material air, its spiritual influence is exhibited. So, and the Hatha Yoga is meant to control all of these 5 kinds of air. I didn't know it was called air. 5 kinds of air. So atomic soul is floating in the 5 kinds of air, and when the soul is purified from the contamination of these 5 kinds of material air, its spiritual influence is exhibited. So yeah, okay, so this is verse 17, which is talking about according to the personalist. So it's going to be so much fun to figure out. I haven't yet figured it out, but it'll be fun to figure out what the Advaita perspective here is and what they say. So I'm going to, whenever I get to listen to the chapter 2 summary by Swami Sarvapriyananda as well as Ramdas, I am going to share my learnings from there, and that will further explain what this means, what this verse means. I think this chapter is going to start to become very different, very split apart now in the 2 different schools of thought. Okay. So tomorrow we'll do chapter 18, chapter 2, verse 18. Wish you a very, very beautiful day. Radhe Radhe.